Do you know what Mark Warman says?
What?
If it ain't a Mopar, it's no car. Why?
I've got nothing to say.
There is nothing to say.
Nothing to talk
Absolutely nothing, eh?
Okay, last one. Easy.
What's a sniper?
Mm.
Paul?
Oh, yes?
Do you know who Mark Warman is?
No, but he sounds like a Mopar guy.
Yeah, he's a Mopar guy. He's the guy from Graveyard Cars that I met in SEMA. You remember that time?
Yeah, I remember.
And I just walked up to him while he was having his lunch. Remember that?
I'm sure he appreciated that.
I remembered my name from the year prior.
Sometimes
The guy has a remarkable memory. Maybe it's my head. I've got a head that's not forgettable. 6 minutes on that front one, 9.5 minutes on the back one, and we're not even done.
It is amazing how much time goes
When you think you're working.
when you think you're working.
You know what? We should send a message to Apple
About the red dot.
about having a red dot when you're recording on the opposite side of the phone that you can turn on and off. You can have it on or you can have it off. Because if you're doing some sort of recording in the bedroom late at night, you probably don't want that red light on. Nor do you want the red light on if you're out the front of your house, you know, and you're doing some sort of recording and some people that turn up that are just not the type of people you want to turn up because, you know, they think there's a red light district going on. Probably didn't need to say that, like, did I?
No. We're going to start this thing. I might have to get some fuel. I think I drained the fuel out.
Why do you do that? You just like fresh fuel in it, and the next time you go out,
Yeah.
and you chuck it in your other cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on you. We could put it in this fuel bowser you've got over here.
Oh, I wish that...
Wouldn't that be mad? Even if it like worked, but you had like a jerry can inside it or something, and it just pumped it back out of it.
all the guts are out, man. It's got all the pumps and everything out. And the computer is in there.
Which is not a computer.
That is a computer.
Oh, look at that! It's Gilbargo.
Yeah. The really, you know what Gilbarco is? The really old ones are Gilbert and Barker. And they then combined, even before that, to become Gilbarco.
Wow.
Wow, there you go.
I could tell you another funny story about Gilbargo, or however you say it.
Gilbarco.
Barco, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I go in my hot rod, my supercharged 400 hot rod, that has a little Corolla tank in it. Like it's only 50 litres. Wouldn't be more than 50 litres. And it's dead empty. It's dry as a bone. I go to the local Shell service station, and I will say Shell, because I've never filled up on Shell ever again after this instance. And I filled it up. And the thing took 65 litres. I marched straight into the counter to pay. Well, not to pay, because I refused to pay and told them they had a problem with the Bowser, because there's no way my car takes 65 litres, you know. Anyway, the guy was threatening to call the cops and all this sort of stuff, and I had to pay. And so I raised a complaint to Shell. After I'd sent it all in and all the rest of them, I told my situation about my car, and I know the tank capacity and all the rest of it. I got a letter back saying cars take more than you think. There'll be fuel in the filler neck and fuel in the fuel lines and all this sort of stuff. And as you know, and Paul, you know my little hot rod, there is no way 10 litres fits in that filler neck. you know. And I went, this went back and forth because I was not letting up. I wanted my $10 back, you know. Anyway, kept going, and in the end, I didn't win. They refused, and I've never, ever gone to a Shell service station ever again. It was funny because the whole Gilbargo thing was because they sent me the report on that Bowser that it had been calibrated correctly. But I'm telling you, it wasn't calibrated correctly, because I've had that instance happen to me at a Caltech service station, and same thing happened. It took way too much. It wasn't in my hot rod, it was in my Commodore at the time, and they've got like a 72 litre tank, and it took 85 litres, like some ridiculous amount. And I marched straight back in there, or marched straight in there, and said the same thing. That's wrong. And the lady was like, we just had them calibrated yesterday. She goes, oh, I've got a Commodore, I know they don't take that much. And she actually refunded my money right then and there.
Wow.
Yeah, but Shell weren't having a bar of it.
Damn Dutch.
Well, I never let a car get below a quarter, so I wouldn't know about that.
Well, even if the car was dead empty, you know what I mean? There's no way it was taking that much fuel.
Yeah.
That would have meant I drove there completely empty, which is physically impossible in a car that uses a litre every 3 kilometres. I was so angry about all of that. I mean, I'm over it now, but
Doesn't sound like you are.
still won't go back to a Shell servo. Not gonna happen. So Paul's just doing the lash once more. He's got his own way he likes to do it, and I really don't want to disturb him. Let's see what Paul's got to eat. Oh, Subway. Oh, cookie. I'm gonna take his cookie. This is good. Sorry, Paul. So we've got one girdle on, and Paul's going to show us how the second one goes on.
Just can't push them down too far, otherwise they'll chop the front of your rocker off.
As you can see, it's really close to the rocker there. So what were the problems you were having with the valve lash and these girdles before?
Well, I think with the bent studs, you'd do the lash with the girdle off, then you'd put the girdle on, and it would literally straighten the studs back up. That would affect
The lash again.
The lash
so
again.
then your lash was out.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. We'll whip around and have another look at it. But yeah.
The car's finished and all done, but you still got to watch the whole video. So like and subscribe to Garage Days.